Hi, good afternoon. This is Todd with SiteDocs, and I wanted to introduce the group to the new WinRight's account at SiteDocs, and we're going to walk through some of the basic functionality so that we can pass along where we're at with the setup process and to give you a little insight to kind of how it looks and feels utilizing the SiteDocs system. SiteDocs is a cloud-based software. Everything you do in the field will be delivered via an app as you see in front of you with the SiteDocs icon. You can download it at any app store, be it Google or Apple. And then everything gets pushed into the cloud, resides inside your administrative account, and we'll look at that here in a minute. But I just first wanted to go through the basic functionality to give you a quick overview. This will be roughly 8 to 10 minutes of information, so I'm going to go rather quickly. There's some simplistic tabs at the bottom that make it very easy for the users to navigate. We have a dashboard tab, we have a forms tab here, we have a resource tab, and we have a tab for worker information, as well as the final tab, which is settings to be able to force a sync if needed. SiteDocs continually works behind the scenes. If you're connected to the internet, it'll automatically sync. If for some reason you're not using the internet, the app works just fine. You can force the sync this way by using the settings section. So we're going to jump into the Forms tab real quick, and this would be utilized for any form that needs to be processed out in the field. Currently, we've uploaded and built 2 forms for WinRight. We have the Safety Director's Audit, and we also have the Safety Manager's Audit. If you notice up here at the top, there's a pick list, and if I hit the little pin, it's going to drop down a list of all your current jobs as well as their corresponding job number. So for demonstration purposes, we're going to go ahead and use the Frito-Lay job location. So I select that, and you notice it self-populates up at the top. And we're going to go ahead and jump into a Safety Director's Audit. And so I open up that form, and we want to start a new form. So I select New, and it's going to ask me if I want to start a new form. I just simply hit Yes, and it's going to populate the new form for me. Right away, you'll see the title of our form, company name, job site location, as well as the job number in this case. And then we have a date stamp and time stamp on all of the forms. If we need to add additional information related to this location, we could go ahead and utilize the label field here. Up top, you see we have the opportunity to expand the form, which makes it a little easier, user-friendly, gives you more room to work within the confines of an iPad or an iPhone or an Android-based device. So I just go ahead and go through the form. I go to my general information. I need to select which subcontractors are part of this audit that I'm going to be looking at. And just for simplistic sakes, I'm going to just use the top 3. But if I needed to look up all the different subcontractors that currently work for WinRight, they're all located in here in alphabetical order. So I go ahead and I'm going to select, for example, the top 3 contractors. I select those, and I quickly input them. They're in the form. Project manager on this particular site will be Jeff. I go ahead and select his name, and he will be put into the form. And then I need to select a site coordinator. In this case, we'll use John Smith as an example. And then I come back to my form, and I go ahead and go through the form details. First section is job site documentation. I can go through here. Was the SPA filled out? Yes. Was the safety observation report filled out and on site? Yes. Applicable safety signs posted. So you get the idea. I can go through here. I see that each subcontractor does not have a competent person, so I can select which sub does not have a competent person, and we'll say it's Ace Electric in this case. And I can go through and finish my form. Our SDS is available, yes. Is there a documented procedure? Yes. OSHA posted, yes. First aid, it's great. Now I go down to site conditions and general housekeeping. Is the work site clean of trash and debris? In this particular case, it's not. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of some of the information that I see on the job site. I can go ahead and take a picture with my device, take a picture of the trash, and it automatically will insert that into the form. If for some reason I needed to mark up this picture, I can go ahead and annotate, etc., and draw pictures or circles and annotate the form if I needed to. So I can easily annotate the picture and go ahead, etc. So I could put that annotation in. As you see here, we've drawn the red circle around. So I go ahead and finish out my form. And I go through my PPE section. And once I'm done, I can go ahead and sign and save the form. And it's going to bring up a pick list of the different employees and workers available. In this case, we'll do it as Jeff. Signs it, hits save, and it automatically inputs the signature into the form, as well as GPS coordinates if we needed to see where that particular form was signed. If I need to add additional signatures, I can go ahead and just add signature there and choose another person if I had to have multiple signatures on one form. It's an easy way to get that information in there. So we quickly just went through and completed the safety director's audit. I want to show you the safety manager's audit. Same process essentially. I go ahead and start a new form, and in this case we're going to switch the location. We're going to be on the Ace Hardware project, so I select that and it automatically will populate that info. And then I can go through the SOAR instructions, which contractors are currently being inspected. Again, I'll choose the same three. I can input those in here, who's it inspected by, and then in this particular form, since it's fairly lengthy as far as the audit form is concerned, we've broken down the sections to allow the user to select the sections and start filling those out. This form is set up a little different. We're actually inspecting 3 different contractors, so we're able to conduct one inspection and capture the data for 3 different contractors. And so I can go ahead and say who has the safety manuals. All 3 of them do. So I go ahead and pass all 3 contractors. I get to safety data sheets and I see that 2 out of the 3 have them. So I've passed 2 and I've failed 1, and I need to select which contractor has failed that particular section, and we'll say it's Ace again. And so now we've notated that Ace did not have their safety data sheets. And then I can go through the obvious components of the form, get to the bottom, sign and save the form. Again, we'll do it as John Smith, and I save the form. And now I've completed the safety manager's audit. I'm going to jump over here into the resource tab. The resources is essentially the documentation center for your company. This is where you would house information like manuals, safety manuals, equipment manuals, toolbox talks, your SPAs, your SDS sheets. And it's a real simple process. If we needed to go through a quick toolbox talk and we wanted to talk about a confined space, we could jump into our resource section for toolbox talks. And I want to do this education or this training. We're actually on the Sketchers project. So I can select Sketchers. And I go ahead and open up my toolbox talks to confined space. I want to view that. And I open up the PDF document, and I can go ahead and review the training on the confined space procedures, notating the information. And you also have the pinch and pull feature if you needed to scroll into a particular document to review the information. Once I've reviewed the information with the group, I go ahead and hit sign and save, and I can add multiple signatures in here for the participants of the training, or they could go on their own device and sign the training document as well. So this is an easy way to capture signatures for the training of the confined space in this case. So that was a general functionality of SiteDocs in the field when we utilize the application itself. If for some reason I had to forward this document or this training to somebody else that needed a copy of it, I could click this little square with the arrow, and it's going to open up a panel that would allow me the opportunity to forward this training with the signatures via email to anybody in the company. So now I want to jump into the administrative component and show you what it looks like when we go ahead and utilize our administrative component and see how SiteDocs is used in the field. So you notice we've just completed 2 forms and a resource document. And so I just refreshed my administrative screen. So here are the 2 different forms that we've completed: the safety director's audit and I see that information here. We have the company logo up at the top, contact info on the right, and I can scroll down and see the safety director's audit and all the information as it pertains here. The picture automatically gets embedded into the form, and I go down and I can find out who actually signed this form. Same thing with the safety manager's audit. I can see that information in the same way. If I needed to email this, I could go ahead and email this particular audit to anybody in the organization if I need to view it as a PDF. And maybe you wanted to make some changes inside that form. If you're sending it to a client, for example, or you're adding additional information and you're using a PDF editor, it's an easy way for you to go ahead and change that information or add additional information via PDF editor. And then this is a quick example of the toolbox talk. And if I open it up here, I can see that John Smith and Jeff had signed this toolbox talk, and it was on confined space, and here's a copy of that as well. So not only can I see all the information just simply in my administrative screen through the safety inbox, there's a bunch of different reporting that I can look up. I can see usage reports and safety reports on who's filling out information, who's actually utilizing the system. I can get information about all our particular locations. I can see worker information. But the main important part of this is be able to look at the data that's coming into your SiteDocs system. And so I can pull that information up. I can export data if I need to a CSV, and I can pull that data out and manipulate it and create my own information or graphs and charts. That was a real quick view of SiteDocs and how WinRight can move forward and use SiteDocs and help remain paperless in the safety management process. Thanks for your time.